What is inflation? It is a change in the prices of a basket of goods and services typically purchased by households. It is measured in terms of annual growth rate. Why is it discussed so often? It represents the consumer cost of living, as it represents how much more expensive a set of goods and services has become over a certain period. Looking at inflation and its causes, you can get a picture of the health of an economy. So what creates inflation? When demand for goods and services rises more than what an economy can produce, the overall prices level will rise. Inflation can also occur when production costs rise due to rapid wage increases or rising raw material prices, for example. So is inflation good or bad? It depends who you are. Inflation can be positive if you are a borrower whose income keeps up with inflation, as it reduces the proportion of your income spent at the debt repayment. But inflation is a cost when household income does not increase as much as prices, because it leads to a fall in their purchasing power. It can get ugly if it rises rapidly at very high levels. Hyperinflation, in particular, can be devastating. On the other hand, prices can fall. It is what is called deflation, and it is not good either, as households delay their purchases as they anticipate lower prices in the future. And this triggers a slowdown in economic activity. So policymakers aim to avoid periods of hyperinflation or deflation, and this is why they are promoting low and stable inflation. The central banks in the US, Eurozone or the UK all have quite precise inflation targets of 2%. And why 2%? There is no straightforward best practice, as it depends on the characteristic of each economy. It is merely a widespread agreement. It is not the only economic policy objective of the central banks. Employment, economic growth, and a well-functioning financial system are also important considerations. From an investment point of view, the impact of inflation are important for fixed income markets. For example, right now, many analysts expect inflation to go up in the US, and that is one reason why the interest rates for the US sovereign bonds have been rising since the start of the year. And finally, where are we today? Inflation will continue to rise through the end of this year to levels close to central bank targets. This will be the consequences of a rise in raw material prices, but mostly of the expected rebound in services demand triggered by the reopening of economies.